to increase affordable housing are commendable in West Grove. We, the members of Grace, are certainly weary of any changes that will not lead to housing, but rather to commercial development. As a part of PZ1 and PZ2, there is one item, Assemblage A, which when they've spoken to the community, they've only indicated an interest in commercial development. So we are in opposition of only Assemblage A. The remainder of PZ1 and PZ2, we are fully in favor of because it is addressing affordable housing. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, commissioners. Brother Lyle Muhammad, Executive Director, Circle of Brotherhood, 5120 Northwest 24th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33142. I'm here speaking as a proponent of item PH7, and I just want to say three quick things. Number one, I really have no idea where the sentiment of the commission is on this item. But I do remember being in grade school, and I was taught that politics determines who gets what, when, where, how. And then after now more than 40 years of community service, I continue to see those who need the most usually are the last in line. And so as a practitioner, a wellness practitioner and transformation specialist, and a violence prevention specialist, I just want to go on record for saying that number one, it's the Circle of Brotherhood that allowed Miami to be part of the now 16-city White House initiative because of our work on violence prevention. It's the Circle of Brotherhood who was tapped by the International Foundation Katali to do indigenous transformation and wellness work across this country because we do it so well. We just pray that we can do it in our own backyard, right here in Miami, without any unnecessary difficulty throughout this process. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Melinda Williams, address 3523 Charles Avenue. I am a lifelong resident of our community. I'm here representing Coconut Grove Community Advisory Committee. We presented a resolution to the PZAB board on December 7, 2022. And today we're addressing PZ 1 through 3. We oppose the upzoning request. It is contrary to the NCD 2. It's contradictory to
Thank you. Good morning.
My name is Reynold Martin. I'm at 3325 Percival Avenue. I'm a member of the Community Advisory Committee, Homeowners and Tenants Association, and Grace. And I too oppose the PZ 1 and 2 because it's not advocating residential development, affordable residential development, which is something that we critically need in our community, as you can all see. The Grove was once a thriving community, and now you see a lot of vacant lots, empty apartment buildings, and large developments that do not house our people. This needs to stop, and we need your support to make sure this thing comes to an end, and we can once again build a thriving community in Westfield.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. My name is Jihad S. Rashid. I reside at 3629 Grand Avenue, Coconut Grove. I'm here today to speak in opposition to PZ 2 and 3 and one aspect of PZ 1, Section A. That is not in the best interest of this community. The community has not been properly consulted. Our input has not been solicited, and it's contrary to the NCD3. And I want to advise that Coconut Grove Homeowners and Tenants Association, who has delegated me to be here to speak on their behalf, is the prime representative group of this community. If you're not dealing with Homeowners and Tenants Association, which has been established, the Coconut Grove Village West Homeowners and Tenants Association is 60 years old, and its leadership is elected by the homeowners, the residents, and the people that live and vote in Coconut Grove. Too often, I've seen this commission solicit sectarian groups and people who do not have constituents and voters in this community to get advice. So it's important that we have representative government, that we do seek out the folks that have voted for the leadership, that live here and vote here. And we're speaking on their behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Carlos Lievano, 150 West Flagler Street, Miami, Florida, 33130. I'm here on behalf of the Man Room Hospitality LLC and Autos Mexicano LLC. I'm here to express my clients' support for PZ5, provided that and so long as no districts are excluded from the ordinance. Any exclusion of any district whatsoever is arbitrary and capricious, and it's unconstitutional and violates the Equal Protection Clause of our U.S. Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Nicholas Duran, and our office address is 169 East Flagler Street. I'm here representing Transit Alliance Miami. So I'm here today to urge that this commission vote no on FR2 and not allow this ordinance to move further. I'm going to be frank, I am a little bit troubled by the intent of this legislation, which comes on the heels of the controversy surrounding the Virginia Key Beach Trust and the comments provided by N. Patrick Raines II. Regardless of one's views on what's best for the Virginia Key, or all that's been said, I don't believe that this substantiates an amendment to the rules of procedure barring the donation of speaking time. Since its founding, Transit Alliance has always advocated for the importance of trust in the decision-making process. And if this board truly wishes to inspire trust in the community and aspires to good governance, then it must work to center the principles of transparency, participation, and inclusion. This board must work to welcome people into the process, to seek out voices that currently are not at the table. This board and all its members should always show up, as elected, to listen with openness and without judgment. We feel that FR2 does not foster an inclusive process, and therefore we do not support it. Please vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Albert Campbell. I'm an executive member of the Circle Brotherhood, 5120 Northwest 24th Avenue. I'm here today to support HB7 and hoping that the promise that was given to us is fulfilled today as we continue to fulfill the promise of our community. We work hard for this community. We love this community. And it seems like those of us that are servants in our community, we are the poorest, but we always champion to get funds to fulfill the promise of our community. We'd like to thank you in advance. May God bless us and God bless our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Professor Sam Lattimore, 937 Northwest 55 Street, Miami, Florida, resident since 1959. I'm here in support of PH6, the Affordable Single-Family Home Houses resolution, that it meets the 80% of median income to buy. I'm not an outsider who comes in and look at the issues after the fact. I was born in this community. I went to service for this community. And I think I speak in terms of those people who are still here in their 70s and 80s, that to support this, we'll be working very hard to maintain what we were drafted to do, what we volunteered to do, and it is to protect our community. So we're asking that support this particular resolution, and I think that the citizens who want to come back and live here will find that a great thing to do. Thank you, and you all have a nice day.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commission. I want to say that money is not going to change the brotherhood for the worse, only for the best. And everybody know our service in this community. Everybody know. You can't doubt that. Commissioner Reyes said at a commission meeting, he said, you know what? We promised them $1 million. We should give them the $1 million. I want you to know we heard that, and we thank you for that. One thing you're going to learn about the brotherhood, if we don't like the way things going, we're going to say something about it. And if we like the way things going, we're going to support it, right? So we are who we are. So I want to say this, because when you put in a leadership position, people watch you. And because I have a leadership position, you know, I'm firm at where I stand. And what I believe in, I believe in that. I believe in what I believe in. And so I want to say to the city manager, he's not here, but I want to say this, because I didn't say this. I didn't want to say this on a phone call. When wrong is done, it needs to be corrected where it was done at. The city manager wanted to speak to me after the last commission meeting, and I denied the conversation with him because I was upset, because I believe what I believe in. But I needed to speak to him because he asked me to speak to him, and I want to apologize to him because that's the type of individual I am, right? So when we do wrong, we need to correct it. So because people watch what I do and a small hand of people believe in me, I wanted them to see that when you make a mistake, you correct it where you make that mistake at. So he wanted to speak to me, so I wanted to say to the city manager, I apologize for not speaking to him when he wanted to have a conversation with me. And I hope he would accept my apology because I'm that bigger type of person. So if you support this item, those of you who support it, thank you. But if you don't support it, the Brotherhood is still going to do its work.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Katrina Irwin, 971 Northwest 35th Ave. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. By taking away the right to donate time, the city of Miami is making commission meetings less accessible to the public. There are people that have severe issues with public speaking, a disability that might limit their ability to speak, are scared to speak to the commission because of the way they might be treated, or would like to donate their time to someone they believe should have more time to speak at the commission meeting. Last September, I attended a commission meeting, and one student was so scared by how she saw the commission treat the public that she started crying and donated her time to another person to speak on her behalf. If people are choosing to take time out of their day to be there, their right to free speech should allow them to do what they want with the time allocated to them. It's almost as if you all are trying to limit freedom of speech, a constitutional right everyone supports. Additionally, I would like to point out that experts on the Virginia Key issue have used the delegation of time donation as a way to speak in length on it. The delegation of time legislation is being proposed the same day the city is deciding on whether or not to proceed with legal action against the Virginia Key Outdoor Center and the removal of the executive director from the Virginia Key Board of Trustees. The citizens of Miami have made it so clear that they want you all to stop whatever it is you're doing with Virginia Key. However, some of you are not listening and are continuing to take away power from the people who are choosing to miss work or school to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today, and please vote no on all the aforementioned items.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning to everyone who's here. My name is Kerry Johnson. I live at 29 Northwest 52nd Street. I'm here to support PH6. Also, I would like to say that there's more affordable housing that's needed due to housing, the rent increases and the purchasing and the destruction of people tearing down some of the older houses and the rent is going up. Purchasing more housing would be necessary for the people as seniors and the people that's being low income in those areas. We need to have housing for those type of people to stay in the city. And I'm in support of this PH6 through the Liberty City Trust. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for serving our community. The commissioners are our heroes. We need your help. I'm sorry. My name's Vivian Perkins. I live at 1152 Northwest 49th Street. I would like to know how we can turn down anything that says housing. I would like to know that the commissioners will show their support on PH6, that we can have affordable housing for the people that really need it. I live in a suppressed neighborhood, and I would like to see it improve. I love the support that we're getting from Chairperson King, and we're going to continue to help her help us. But we need your help, commissioners, to help the community that's in need of so much. I often tell people, walk in my shoes. The people that are trying to help each other need your help. If you help each other, it trickles down to everyone in the community, and you could see the difference. The difference is one side of town should not look better than the other side of town. One thing we need to do is work together. Let's get behind each person that's helping keep our community clean and safe, and not only that, housed. Please vote yes on better housing and affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin Cruz, Greenspoon Martyr. Office is located at 600 Brickell Avenue. Here on behalf of PZ7, item 7, EFMMJ Investments. At this time, we'd like to ask the commission to defer the item due to the short board until the special election is resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Elaine Black, 4800 Northwest 12th Avenue. I'm here in support of PH6. One of the biggest needs in our community is housing. And this PH item will allow us to build affordable housing for medium income people in our community. This is very needed, and we look forward to supporting it, because as a result of this, we will have families able to have homes in our community at an affordable price. Thank you so very much for your support and all that you do for our city.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commission. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Edward Martos, office is at 2800 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. I'm here on behalf of Casa Valentina to speak in favor of PZ1, 2, and 3. We've heard a lot of commentary about these items today. None of it was directed to the concern Casa Valentina or how the ordinances would affect Casa Valentina. As you all know, Casa Valentina is a critical resource for the city of Miami and for Coconut Grove, where it's been for decades. It's been located for decades. Casa Valentina provides housing for children who have, or young adults who have aged out of foster care. So it's really affordable housing for the neediest in our community. And we urge you to vote in favor of PZ1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Urbino Well here on behalf of Grace from Legal Services of Greater Miami. Office is located at 4343 West Flagler Street. I'm here on behalf of Grace, as I stated before, on the matter of PZ1, 2, and 3. As you heard the citizens speak about before, they are in support of the matter as it's written for the most part, as the purpose of it was to bring affordable housing to the West Grove. And to take a step back, Commissioner Russell stated that he brought about this resolution as a way of bringing affordable housing, and he identified, and he said specifically, good stewards of the community who would be bringing affordable housing to the community. You heard Mr. Martos speak about Casa Valentina. They'll be bringing affordable housing to the community. Christ Episcopal Church is involved as well. They'll be doing that as well as the Thelma Gibson. However, Assemblage A is a property that's owned by private developers, and they're seeking to build office and retail space as well as a parking garage. And to that end, Grace is opposed to their inclusion in this matter. And I'll outline several reasons. So the neighborhood between Thomas and Washington Avenue is zoned for residential. It's simply single-family homes and duplexes. The character of the neighborhood has been and continues to be that of a residential area. So the inclusion of Assemblage A in this proposed resolution is both out of place and not conducive to increasing affordable housing inventory in the West Grove. And in the lead up to this, there was an affordable housing study that was done, and public commentary from the community was sought. And one of the most poignant comments that's as part of the report is from a community member who says that stop approval of developer requests to change land use from residential to commercial. In other words, keep residential land residential. And this highlights the main issue with the inclusion of Assemblage A in this whole matter. And lastly, with the rezoning that's being proposed, if the purpose here is to bring about affordable housing, the zoning.
Thank you.
Last statement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Brenda Betancourt, 1436 South 6th Street. I want to thank the commissioners for the changes that are being done, especially Commissioner Manolo for the changes that have been done in the unsafe structures, meeting the new proposals of getting changed to give opportunity to those owners that didn't understand that the new regulations are being enforced. The same way they are doing changes for the co-enforcement. Chairwoman, thank you so much. We were able to help a church in Overtown to mitigate those fines. And sometimes people don't understand there are a lot of regulations they have changed and they need to get to work and get all those code violations, all unsafe violations in place. And always going to be better if you guys actually listen to the person who you guys have in the enforcement board, because you will be able to understand what is the challenges that every single resident in the city of Miami is having. In making those changes, you are providing the opportunity to those residents or business owners to get better and get the violations resolved. So thank you to both of you and the commissioners who are actually working on these resolutions to provide help, assistance, and to show the resident of the city of Miami that you guys are not against the residents or the business, that you are just trying to work with the law that you guys have on hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Commission. Francisco Rodriguez Mello with the item PC 6. Very similar. Happy to hear Ms. Brenda Betancourt. So I'm an owner of this property where the Board of Zoning and Appeals basically did not remove a certificate of use on the property because we were able to substantiate the conditions of the property. And I think that in overall owners, we just really want to understand or have a way to have some flexibility to present information because a lot of the information is coming very quickly. The city's being very proactive, so I congratulate you. But at the same time, it's very difficult when you have an order and then the different departments don't have the mechanism to say, okay, we're seeing the information that you're presenting, let's review it. There's information from an engineer that the property is habitable and so forth. So I think that my item is specifically very similar to what what Betancourt was referring, which is giving the owners the opportunity to be listened to and to present information and to have things heard and have some flexibility within the code, because the code is very hard, and here you are against basically an unknown territory. So really looking for things to continue to evolve and enforce, but at the same time allow for information to be reviewed and owners to have an opportunity to keep their properties. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, public comment period is closed. We seem to have lost our quorum. Try not. see if Joe comes in the next. I know. See if he- Yes? Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
On what item? I'm sorry, Commissioner
CAs.
Reyes.
I have a motion and a second to move all of the CA items. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The CA items have passed. We cannot take up.
Which one you want to take, Madam Chair?
We'd have to go and pick and choose.
PH1, PH2, PH4. No, we need 4 for PH4.
We can
Only PH1, right?
PH1.
I move PH1.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. PH1 carries.
I think all the other PHs are
3/4.
four votes, yeah. I'll move RE1, RE2, RE3.
On the REs, we have to go.
You have to read it.
No, it's
No.
some have modifications. So, RE 1 and 2 are fine.
Okay.
RE 3,
Three.
the mitigations.
Right, we have to hear that.
Right. 3, 5, and 6 we have to hear.
How about 7?
Well, we have a quorum. We have a 4, so we can go back to the PH items now.
I move PH2, PH4, PH5, PH6, and PH7. I'm sorry, and PH6. I know we want some debate on PH7, because some clarification may be needed on PH7. I thought there was a little bit of a debate about whether the money was sent up front or not, and where we are with that, right? So I want to know if it has been modified or not. So I'll move PH2, 4, 5, and 6.
Do I have a second?
6 and 7. Not 7.
Not 7?
Not yet.
I'm sorry, you said PH 2 and 5, correct? And 4? Okay.
The remainders that are not PH2, 4, 5, and 6.
Correct. That's 6, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I will move PH7.
I second it.
Walk me, you're the sponsor, Madam Chairwoman, correct?
I was the sponsor. I didn't put myself as the sponsor of this item.
Well, you're listed here as a sponsor, so I think Mayor Suarez.
Mayor Suarez is the sponsor. It should just carry over. I do support the item.
Okay. There were some questions that were raised at last commission meeting about whether they wanted all the money up front. And there's an issue whether it was for pandemic, COVID-19 issues, but we're kind of past that. So I would like that, just to have some clarification on what is being addressed, and is it reimbursements, or is it things that have already been done, or things that are going to be done? And so there's a question about it, so if we can bring it, and I concur with Commissioner Carroy, we'll bring it back in the afternoon, and then we can have a conversation about it after lunch.
I don't remember everything that had been said in previous meetings, but I remember that there were some issues with the amounts of dollars, so I'd like to meet with the administration and then bring it back in the afternoon.
I can tell you that this is an initiative that was brought forth by the mayor.
Yes, absolutely.
For the Circle of Brotherhood. It's $1 million, ARPA funds, if I'm
ARPA
not mistaken. It's ARPA funds. And the promise was made prior to me becoming commissioner for District 5. I support the mayor's initiative. I always have. And I know the work that the Circle of Brotherhood does, although we don't always find ourselves on the same side of the street, I have known the work that they've done for many, many years since I was the president CEO of MLK EDC, and am supportive of this item. But again, I defer to my colleagues if you want to take some time and come back in the afternoon.
Yeah. Well, let me end up, in all honesty, you see, this was very much discussed when it first came, and it came for the allocation of substantial less money than the one that was promised by the mayor and everybody that was involved with that. And I made the statement, and if we promise, and I know the work that they do, and I said if we promise $1 million from ARPA fund, then we should keep our word. And that's why I'm moving it, and I think that we should bring this forward. What are we going to solve by bringing it later on? I think we can argue that, discuss it right now, if you have any objections. And if you want to vote yes or no, but let's just go ahead with this legislation.
Well, I think that the two of your colleagues are requesting that we do it in the afternoon. That's a matter of collegiality. Why don't we do it in the afternoon?
Well, I understand that two of my colleagues are asking to do it this afternoon, and two of your colleagues are asking to do it now. So
What I want is for my colleagues to feel comfortable, because
yes,
this
okay.
is a 4/5 vote, and I need the support of all of the commissioners here to pass it. So if that is what will make them feel comfortable, that they need more information, I don't want to jeopardize forcing a vote right now, because it requires a unanimous consent for this to pass.
Yes, Madam Chair, I do understand that, and the only thing that I was bringing out is just pointing out that if we cannot solve this now, we do it. If not, well, then we'll bring it back later on.
If you want to bring it for a vote, let's vote on it.
I mean, whatever you say, Madam Chair.
Right. It has to be 4.
I understand. If you need more information in order to vote on this item, I would prefer that you get the information to vote on it. So
Okay. Thank you, Madam
we'll
Chair.
bring it back in the afternoon. Do I have a motion for the RE items?
Okay.
I will only RE1 and RE2, right, Madam Attorney? Everything else is...
Which one is that, sir?
Right. I think we're right now just doing RE1 and RE2.
Right, so I move RE1 and RE2.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. RE1 and 2 have passed.
And Madam Chair, if I may just ask to the attorney, so on the mitigation matters, RE 3, 4, 5, and 6, what's the issue there? We have to go one by one.
Right. So they're quasi-judicial matters that you have to hear both. You need to hear the party that's requesting the mitigation.
Right. And do you want to do that now?
Yes,
Okay,
we can take up RE3 right now.
I move RE3.
Before we do anything, Madam Chair, I have a genuine discussion on RE5 and 6. And the genuine disclosure. Okay, amen.
RE3?
Good morning, Deanna Rasco. This is a request from the property owner at 6300 Northeast 4th Court. This is a code violation for work without a permit. They were to comply April 10th, 2010. Unfortunately, actual compliance was until April 7th, 2022. They filed a complaint, and there's mitigating circumstances. In their complaint, they stated that although the original compliance date was April 10th, 2019, they were in Boston with a minor child who was having heart surgery, open heart surgery, from July to October 2019. In November 2019, they were in foreclosure action and had no access to the property to cure the violation. Then in March, they finally got access in March 2020, and of course it was the pandemic. They finally got a final building permit July 2020. They thought the matter had been cured. Unfortunately, building final is not the same thing as an affidavit of compliance with code. They did not know about the code enforcement lien until they went to refinance, to pull out funds to pay for the minor child's 4th surgery, and is currently, I do believe, in the hospital at this time, and that's how they found out about this code enforcement lien. They're here today to request a mitigation, and they have offered $29,000 to pay for this lien.
What is the full amount that
The full amount due is $291,250.
And that is RE what?
That's RE3.
RE3, okay.
Do some math, because this is
10%.
my district. It's actually more than that. This is my district, and there was a period where they cured the building violations and wasn't aware that you had to go to code. And building said to me that that is confusing. So we subtracted the days from when they cured the building to present. What was that number?
So there's a difference, Madam Chairwoman,
Yes,
between the
200,
the 291,000 that have been assessed.
Right.
Vis-a-vis what is actually after they, that
under
period.
their belief.
So what's that number?
That number is, if you bear with me, I apologize. I think we figured 200, it would be 250 times 365. It would be roughly 91,000 less than the original outstanding lien. So it would be like less than
200,000.
200,000.
Yeah.
So it's
about 15%.
291.
291 is what's shown in City View as the amount due and owing.
And then we subtracted how much?
Roughly $91,250.
Okay, so what I'm asking for the 29 falls at what percentage?
We said it falls at 10% of the full amount.
The 229, so it's 15.
No, but then
17%.
we added some because I came up with the number 29, and they've accepted that offer as 29,000, and I think that's fair.
10%.
Yes, good morning.
I'll move it. That's second.
If we could just hear 1 second from
Okay.
thank you. Good morning, Ana Rivera on behalf of 6454, address 63009E, Fort Court. I would like during this morning to consider that the owners of the property are dealing with a medical need child that are currently in Houston trying to receive treatment for this child. I was told that the child went another open heart surgery recently in December, and their interest in refinance this property is because they want to pay other medical bills that are still ongoing. I would ask you to humbly consider this payment to be at $29,000, and if you would consider if it could be either paid in a payment plan or at least 40 days from now, or at a minimum at least 20 days.
So I'll amend my motion to allow them for a payment plan of paid over 40 days.
Okay.
Okay, 29,000.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with the second, okay?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As amended?
As amended. RE5. Right? RE5. RE5.
And just to, the Jennings disclosures that you met with the applicant or for this mitigation, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Ray.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Rachel, on behalf of the City Attorney's Office. RE5 is a mitigation pursuant to 2-217. This property is located at 101 Northeast 2nd Avenue. The nature of the violation is not a repeat violation. It's a violation for when they were changing the outside shutters for the buildings downtown so that they all had a not only safety but similar look to get rid of some of the blight. The property was cited. This is the old owner with the authority of the new owner appearing to handle this mitigation. The property was found guilty in 2019. The compliance date was not until September of 2023. The lien totaled out to $276,000, $276,750. So the property value is assessed at 2.4 million. As I said, they are not a repeat offender, and the violation at hand was for the to correct the the exterior shutters on the commercial building.
Madam Chair?
They have offered, I think, in the resolution, it's not that it's approved by the city attorney's office, but their offer was in the resolution as it shows $3,750.
That's what I wanted to address. See, we have been very generous trying to settle all this, all the fines and reducing it at minimum of 10%. I don't see what should be different. 10% is what we have been asking. Well, if I may, I'd like to address it. My name is Alfredo Gonzalez.
Well, before you start, I have a genuine disclosure. Mr. Gonzalez spoke to me on the way coming in to my meeting today on this issue. So I want to do a genuine disclosure on RE5.
Again, my name is Alfredo Gonzalez. I'm an attorney with Dunster, offices at 600 Brickell Avenue, Suite 3500. And I don't quarrel with the facts of what the city attorney has stated. A couple of things. We did get legal notice. Legal notice was sent to a registered agent who had changed his offices and kept getting notices that were not given to our client. There was a delay based on between legal notice, which we got, and actual notice, which we got much later. We'd like you to concentrate on your section 2817. That section says you look at the gravity of the violation. Well, in this case, we don't have a health safety issue. It's shutters that we're talking about. Secondly, the code will have you consider if we are repeat violators. We're not repeat violators. Lastly, the code requires that you examine the steps we take. And here I think I would like to point this out to you, and I know you will come to a fair conclusion for us, but the violation was corrected. Why did time go by? Well, our client started working on this at the end of 2019 when they actually had actual knowledge of this. They hired an engineer. That engineer, 3 months later, we found out died. So now we were behind the 8 ball, but we were in the midst of the pandemic and the shortage of labor and everything else that went along with it, including the fact that in order to lift the hold on being able to procure permits was a whole process. The city was working remotely and not as fast as it usually did, so even the permit took a long time to procure. So I think that sets us a little different from other applications. We know that you have a protocol on these. We would ask that you accept $10,000, which covers all of your costs and more as a mitigation of this matter.
I was just going to say, Vice Chair.
276.
Say this for the record, that the 10% that my colleague mentioned, that has to depend on case by case. And Counselor was quite right in bringing out certain facts that we should use to determine each case by case. Right at the top is life safety issues. Next to repeated offenders. And the repeated offender is very important because when you have people that are playing for their loss, and they don't care, they're wise guys, how they do things. Those people cannot be treated the same as every other normal resident that is up here on one issue for the first time.
Yes.
And that's why we have the ordinance we have. Now, in this case, what Counselor is offering is not even the 10% he's mentioned. So, I understand. Look, there's no question in my mind that every case that we're gonna have here. We're gonna have, we have, napkins, so people can cry in front of us, all the way to the bank. That's the best way to get out of, paying more. I just can't, come with $10,000 alone, especially something that's around 300,000.
Mr. Gonzalez, are there any life safety issues with this particular violation?
No, there are none.
Is your client a repeat offender?
No.
I think your offer of, I think Commissioner Correa is correct. It's got to be a case-by-case basis, so let's look at it quickly. Why are you offering $10,000 when you have a $276,000 fine?
It's hard to come to a number. We understand that we are.
How about if I give you one? $27,000.
Well, if that's what the board decides, I think we would.
Commissioner Correa and the rest of my colleagues agree?
I would agree with that.
Because of the mitigating factors, right? You're not repeat offenders. You're not. There's no life safety issue here. You're talking about shutters, right? So $27,000 and don't do it again, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
I moved $27,000.
I'll second that, and I have to add, this is a case that has, I mean, it's cosmetic. It is nothing that it is no life safety issue, and I'm gonna accept that because it's cosmetic. It doesn't look good downtown, and then the shoulders, but they knew that they have to take the shoulders off. But you have mitigating excuses. You see a bunch of things happen while they were trying to cure the problem, and we also have to take that into consideration. I think that's a fair deal.
Yeah. But I think Commissioner Correa is correct, and everybody comes up here with
yes.
A different sob story, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, it's kind of like, the guy died 3 months after the whole thing started, or whatever happened.
Yes,
so, it's
I was in a hospital for 6 months. You see, I have heard
so
that.
it's better if you just come up, straight up and say, hey, we did something wrong. It wasn't a life safety issue. We're not repeat offenders. Everybody can make a mistake. That's a better argument, I think, for future reference, instead of saying that somebody died, because that's not going to influence our decision-making process here.
Unfortunately,
we feel for anybody that dies, obviously, but that's not the point we're dealing with here. We have to be very, very by the law here in what we do.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
As amended?
As amended. We have RE6 is also a mitigation.
This is my district.
Hello, this is the mitigation of property located at 1010 Southwest 10th Avenue. By way of background, this matter was originally referred to our office for the collection of an unsafe structure, and we filed a lawsuit. In addition, they had multiple lot clearing liens. We were ready to go to summary judgment. Let me step back. The property owner was deceased, and nobody was coming forward to manage or take care of the property. I spoke to one of the heirs, and he said, I do not have the resources to handle this property at this time. We went ahead to file a motion for summary judgment to conclude the foreclosure action, at which time we found out that there was another property located in Miami-Dade County, but outside the city of Miami, owned by this same violator. What happens when you have that, there is a tax deed sale. At the tax deed sale, there was a surplus in which the city received $235,574.61. The city can claim entitlement to that surplus on the property outside of the county, outside the city, because of Chapter 162 of the Florida statute, which has the building of the ability to have these bleeding or cross-attaching liens, but only code enforcement liens, which were issued pursuant to 162, can be a bleeding cross-attaching lien. We took the money and we credited the property owner for the 3 outstanding code enforcement cases $37,000 each. At this point, they have requested mitigation of these 3 code enforcement liens for $37,000 each to be mitigated. They have also requested us to waive the special assessment. Unfortunately, Florida law does not allow us to apply a cross-attaching lien monies issued pursuant to 162 to a special assessment. Special assessments are brought pursuant to a different statute, which can only attach to the property on which the issue occurred, the work occurred. And that's what the property owner is.
Okay, I have something to say, I'm sorry.
Hold on, ma'am, hold on for a second. You'll have your turn, thank you. The special assessment is how much?
Roughly $50,000.
51.
$51,000. That includes
51,000 plus, right?
Yeah.
Plus. Okay, and that's money that we put out of pocket.
Correct.
So at least that we definitely got to get back. We put that out of pocket. Now, what is the full amount in all these properties that they personally owe? The full amount.
The full amount.
In all,
There's
three
liens. There's 3 liens. One lien is for $138,250. One lien is for $394,750, and one lien is for